we have a potato, we've got a mandolin, okay? This is not a musical instrument, although it's pronounced the same. Tiny Tim will be coming again. This moves up and down, okay? That determines how thick our slice is. This is a slicing blade here, okay? This is a slicing blade also, okay? And it moves up and down also, okay? Now, this is what we use to do crinkle cut vegetables, okay? And gaufrette potatoes, okay? So I'm gonna do a gaufrette so that you know what it looks like. But today we're doing Anna potatoes, which means we need just flat slices, okay? So we're gonna do our flat slices. I'm gonna put a little flame on that, start getting a little warm. Do your Anna potatoes in a Teflon pan. It will just make the process much easier for you, okay? Now, be careful with this one. It's got a screw missing over here, right? I've been trying to get one for maintenance, but I haven't got it yet. So that leg's gonna just fall down. The way we put this together is they're usually folded up like this. You lift this up, it goes in the end with the stainless steel folded on the end, right? This one doesn't have one, this one does, right? Those legs rest there, okay? These levers raise and lower our slicing blades, okay? So they'll do that, right? We want to make sure that when we go to use the upper blade, that the lower blade is flush, okay? If it's not flush, when you come back up sometimes, there's a flat blade there and it'll cut it, okay? So we want to make sure it's flush. And then this adjusts the thickness of our slice, right? If we wanted to do, pull that all the way up. If we wanted to do long juliennes, like in some instances, I may want like zucchini spaghetti, carrot spaghetti, beet spaghetti, whatever that happens to be, right? And really long pieces, you can't really do those with a knife. They're always going to be different, okay? So I can use this, and if I push this down, oh, that's got the quarters. I can get, this will do 1/4 inch cuts, okay? And then I raise that up to a 1/4 inch depth. I get bâtonnet style long slices, okay? The other part of this is, let's back up here, a julienne, right? So if we take this and turn it to the other direction, on the other end, we've got 1/8 inch blades, right? So those 1/8 inch blades then will produce a spaghetti size, okay?
What was it?
Pardon?
What was it?
Yeah, there's a handle right here.
Okay.
And a little post for it to sit on, right? But you do have to be careful with these, right? If you run your hand over this, it will julienne your hand, okay? You don't want to do that, okay? I have skipped a couple times, gotten down to one, and caught my thumb right here, the meat, and just, yeah, it's worse than a cat. Now, we want to make our Anna potatoes with a peeled potato, all right? I'm going to adjust this one to where I think it needs to be. Okay. We're going to do a gaufrette first, so that you've got an idea what a gaufrette is. We use gaufrettes a lot for garnishes. Okay. I can make a gaufrette, put it in the fryer, fry it up, season it when it comes out, and then stand it up in a dish, right? To get height on my dish, on my plate, and to provide a dry crunch, okay? So if I'm doing a gaufrette, I want to go this way, and then turn it 45 degrees and go that way. See how thick we are? That way, a little bit thicker. And this is what we get, right? While you guys are doing stuff, I'll deep fry some of these so you can see what they come out like. Okay. Catering company I work for, we used to make for banquets. Sometimes we'd have a 7-layer dip. We'd fry 10 of those gallon bags full of these things to put on the table for people to dip with. Now, we slice potatoes into our Annas, right? You don't need to make gaufrettes today, but I want you to concentrate on Annas. Okay. So straight cut. This These blades here, they have to be hanging free, okay, to be able to do straight cuts. Okay, if you've got them pinned on either side, they're not going to do that. It's pretty thick. Keep your fingers out of the way. I've got a mandolin at home, and I was slicing potatoes one day. My youngest boy comes up and says, "Can I do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but you got to watch your fingers, okay?" Oh, look, little kid is smarter than what I gave him credit for. He got down to about that much potato, turned around, and reached in the drawer and grabbed a fork. He used a fork. Okay.
Nice.
Dude. Smarter than me. Probably smarter than your mama too. Okay, now to do Anna potatoes. Again, use a Teflon pan. There's a bunch of them right there. Okay. Put this in here. We want just enough fat to keep our potatoes from sticking at all. Okay. So we kind of try and coat that pan. Again, hot pan, cool fat. All right. We're gonna take this and we're gonna start right in the center. Okay. These are just a little bit on the thick side. Just that. And then we're gonna start shingling them around. They do have to overlap the previous potato by about half, and this potato by about a third. Okay. These are going to have to go for a while. They're just a little bit thick. Then we're going to take another one, put it in the center. All right. And we're going to do it again. We're going to season first. I would say do it up here, but we have such an airflow with it. You have to do it from over here to be able to. Now, we used to do these for every steak that we sent out because that became what we called the sockle, or platform, so to speak, that would help absorb meat juices on the way to the table. This one's going to have to sit there for a few minutes before it does very well because it's a little thick. Let me see if we can
Do you kind of smash it down like you build it?
try not to. It just, at this stage, it just spreads them apart because the potatoes are still pretty crisp, right? But we go just a little bit thinner. Yep, there we go. That'll be pretty good. Yeah, you want them about like that. That's in half. But. Now we're just going to let this brown on this side. Okay. Stay there. And as they brown, they should start sticking together. Okay. Now we're going to work on your tenderloin medallions. And I want a fairly medium heat for this. This is going to go here. Let that pan warm up. We're going to season our meat, okay? And we're going to season it pretty liberally, all right? And this is one time when I use black pepper, all right? So just like the flavor of black pepper with beef. And it's okay if it shows up. Somewhere. Again, I'll put fat in my pan. We want that to be nice and hot when we put our meat in there so that the meat doesn't stick, okay? Now, if that's meat's been sitting out at room temperature for a while and it's wet, it's starting to get some purge or some condensation on it, go ahead and pat it dry before you put your seasoning on it. It'll just help. Okay. It should immediately start sizzling. Oh yeah. You're gonna break it. Stay there just a little bit longer. If you go flip them and they start breaking away at the top, give it a little more time.
This is like a different kind of hash brown. Right?
Pardon?
Different kind of hash brown.
You
Sort
might
of.
classify them as that. You know, or
Fancier because it's got a French name.
and there's another way to do them for banquets too. We used to do them with a whole 90-count potato peeled, and we would lay a chopstick on each side of the potato, cut down in slices, so thick. Put them in a hotel pan with chicken stock, let them cook, and then when they came out of the chicken stock, all you had to do was take your hand, push, and they would shingle on the plate. So you wouldn't want to do this for a party of 200.
Almost looks like funeral potatoes without cheese.
You want to get a nice brown crust. You can see where the cook line is. If you look on the side, you can see where that cook line's moving up, right? The colors, the meat's changing color as it's cooking, okay? What I want you to do though is I want you to cook these medium rare today, okay? Which is brown them on one side real nice, just a little bit more. Now, you hear that sizzle? As I picked it up, you hear that sizzle, right? That's moisture coming out of the meat. That's what that is, okay? The more you do this, the more you stab it, the more you move it around, the more that moisture is going to come out, okay? And then your meat's going to end up being dry. So, we'll just take this, flip them over. All right, you got a nice brown crust there. We'll let a brown crust get on the other side. We're also going to watch for the appearance of myoglobin on this side of the product, right? As that meat heats up inside, those proteins begin to coagulate, they're going to push moisture out of it, right? As that moisture comes up and that myoglobin begins to show on the very top, okay, where it's already been cooked, push it from the other side. That means that we're right around medium rare. If you get a puddle, you're probably medium, okay? You get a great big puddle that's running off the side, you're probably medium well, okay? So we're going to watch this, okay? As that begins to glisten nicely, we'll pull it out, and it'll be done.
Is that the stage where you would butter mix if you wanted to?
Yes. There we go. Okay. Then these go in the oven. Okay. There's purge coming up right there. So we're probably medium rare. Okay. Pull that out. Yep. Okay. Now this, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off, let that cool for just a sec. I'm gonna add my mushrooms, right? There's a bag of them sliced. We sliced them last week or the week before, whatever. They're still good. Okay. And I'm gonna saute my mushrooms. I'm gonna add just a little bit more fat to that. Mushrooms are unique. They usually have a lot of moisture in them. And it takes a bit to brown them. These are some pretty big mushrooms too.
The whale's tail is actually its leg and body with its spine. So I'm pretty sure they have nose legs.
A whale.
Their hind fin with its toes.
So we don't brown on one side. We'll flip these over, get them brown on the other side because they're nice and big. I can do that. Then we have some shallot. Well, this is actually red onion, it's not shallot. The shallot's big, this is good. It's about a tablespoon and a half. Okay. As those get nice and aromatic, now y'all are going to make béarnaise today. Somebody at your table needs to make béarnaise because we're going to pull the potatoes out of the oven, put those on a plate, put our meat on top of the potatoes. We're going to sauce the potato, put our meat on top of that, and then your béarnaise is going to go across your fillet, right, or across your medallion. Okay. So I'm not going to take the time to make béarnaise right now. That'll be on there. But we've got, those are starting to get clear now, right? So I've got 1 ounce of red wine. It's in that bottle right there. Put that in there. And we're going to reduce this au sec. You shouldn't really need to season this. You'll taste it to make sure you got seasoning, but there should have been enough liberal salt off of this in that fat to be able to season everything, right? Now I've also got demi-glace here. This is about 4 tablespoons of demi-glace. Reduce this a little more. You want to take this down till it's nearly dry. Okay, it's kind of more like a syrup. Okay, so we'll make sure you get that moisture out of there. But if you go too far, it's going to burn it. So that's about right. Take this. Just going to go ahead and put our demi-glace in there. I think when you guys taste this, you're going to find that it's a whole different animal than your Espagnols that you made. And there should be a plate of pat of butter down there inside the low boy. Yeah. I'm going to use just pat of butter. That's about a teaspoon and a half. Monte au beurre, mounts with butter. Turn that off. I have a couple of white boys over there.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'll tell you right now, these are really in no way done. That. Yeah, they're still just a little crunchy in the center. But another 6 or 8 minutes in there, they'd be done. All right, so I'm gonna put this on my plate. Put this on top. Stay there and be warm. You guys are going to put just a line of béarnaise across there. Cool? That's what we're doing.